Welcome to this video on MADM Academy. In this video we're going to look at different ways that you can start improving and developing the performance of your website. So we're going to start out by looking at some really good websites. If you're going to start improving your website, then it's probably a good idea to spend some time looking at existing sites that are doing things right. We can take some ideas from the best and see how we can implement them into our own web projects as well. So if you've got any ideas or there's things that you're trying out, then make sure you let us know. Comment on MADM Academy on Instagram, and also join in our live sessions which are on Zoom at 12 noon every day, Monday to Friday. So we can go onto a website like Glance. The URL is glance.fyi. It's a really cool site, and what Glance does is it shows us a collection of some of the best websites that are currently out there. So if we just scroll down here, we'll start seeing the above the fold sections, essentially the parts of the screen that we see before you scroll down, the hero section as it's often called. And what we can start doing here is noticing some patterns emerging. If we scroll down and look at the sites that are on here, we've got some huge companies' websites. So Netlify, Asana, Dropbox, Miro, Intercom, some really big companies. So these have got huge tech budgets, massive web design teams, and these companies are really doing websites at the minute as good as anyone else. So Glance.fyi is a website that I use most days. Ideally, if you're interested in websites, you should be checking sites like this out all the time. Get a note open on your laptop or on your phone and just stick in links like Glance, because they're going to be so useful for you. What we can then do is click on any of these and be taken through directly to the website. So if we click on the Netlify one, for instance, click on the little arrow and we'll be taken through directly to Netlify's site. So it's a really cool and very useful tool is glance.fyi. So what we'll see here, we're going to look at maybe 3 or 4 examples, and before I've even scrolled through, because Glance do change their sites, the sites that they think are currently the best ones out there, they do change a lot. So before I've even checked to see these sites, I can guarantee that they're all going to share a lot of similarities. So these similarities are the things that are obviously working. These companies have huge budgets to be able to test and track and measure to see what's really working. And just to prove that these patterns are not just something that I have just noticed before I started recording this video, just keep checking out glance.fyi, and next week and the week after that, you'll start noticing these patterns yourself, and hopefully some other patterns maybe that I haven't noticed as well. So what we normally have here is a clear sentence, a clear headline. David Ogilvy, this is a quote that I use all the time. David Ogilvy once said that once you've written your headline, you've spent 80% of your ad budget. Obviously that is not exactly true. You do not want to be blowing like all of your ad budget on a headline, but the principle is there that the headline is so important. I cannot stress just how important headlines are enough. If you're not great at writing headlines, then it's certainly something that you can learn. It's something that we talk about a lot on MADM Academy. You don't have to be the most gifted or experienced writer to be able to create amazing headlines, but headlines do work, not just on websites, but for an array of different things as well. You imagine emails, for instance, the subject line, the headline in that is make or break for an email in terms of whether people will even click on it. You look at YouTube, a video platform, and yet we search on YouTube by words, so the importance of getting the headline, the title right for your YouTube video, for instance, makes all the difference. So going back to these elements that we'll see across these different websites, the first thing that we see is this big bold headline. Bring it all together. Now the headline will vary not just from business to business or website to website, but It should also vary depending on like where your business is. Like, you know, if it's Netflix doesn't need to have like an explanation headline or video describing what Netflix is right on the homepage, because Netflix knows that the majority of the people visiting Netflix now already understand what Netflix is, so their headline can reflect that. Whereas when Netflix was first getting started and people were visiting the site for the first time, it would have made sense back then for Netflix to have a more descriptive headline as well. So think of it as being the same for your business as well, or for yourself if you're doing a website portfolio, for instance. You know, think about where your website currently sits in people's minds. Like, is this a website where people will be visiting it for the first time? And if so, you need to be more descriptive within your sentence. When it comes to writing slogans, headlines, things like that, you know, people go to slogans such as "Just Do It" by Nike, but "Just Do It" was an amazing slogan for Nike at that time. It was just what the company needed, but there were so many variables to it. Like, you couldn't apply "Just Do It," for instance, to a lot of companies. It would just sound ridiculous. So what fits one business at a particular time doesn't mean that it would fit every business, or even that same business as well, just at a different time within the development of that company. So going back to this headline, bring it all together. This is a tool that is for developers, for coders. I'm personally familiar with Netlify. It's a solution that we can use to actually take our code that we've written and then upload it to the internet. So there's a lot of different tools and systems that we can use to do this, and Netlify's thing is kind of doing it all in one place. So that makes sense, bring it all together. Then this little, descriptive sentence, short paragraph at a push, you could also put here, but it's a sentence. The fastest way to combine your favorite tools and APIs to build the fastest sites, stores and apps for the web. Start building for free, request demo. So we've got our headline, we've got our descriptive sentence here, we've got two call to actions here, and something that we're going to see, I can guarantee, on at least 80-90% of websites is a clear call to action also in the top right hand corner. Calls to action, we talk about this all the time on MADM Academy. Your buttons, the things that you want people to be clicking on. Spend time thinking about the wording to use. Be clear, be bold. Don't be wishy-washy with it, but also, there's so much else that goes into it as well, and the location where you have them on the site makes a huge difference as well. So we'll begin to see certain areas where these calls to action are. We've got 3 different calls to action here, but essentially sign up and start building for free. Very similar. If you start building for free, you're going to be taken within a couple of steps towards the sign up page, and we also have like a transitional call to action as well for people that are maybe needing Netlify for an enterprise level organization, or for maybe finding out a little bit more about what Netlify can provide. So within this above the fold section, and if you've seen any of our videos before about this subject as well, hopefully you'll know where the term above the fold came from. And the term actually originates where newspapers at newsstands, when they were a thing, when newspapers were folded in half, it was important that the newspaper editor would be able to get enough information above the fold, above where that newspaper was folded. So it's another sort of phrase that we use in web design, and it just refers very similarly, I guess, to unfolding a newspaper. It's just the part of the website that we see prior to scrolling down. So remember that this would look different on a different device. So if you were looking at this in portrait mode, for instance, on a smartphone, this is going to be a different dimension, but this is going to look exactly the same. And I can guarantee that if we do this, which is using the inspect tool, then clicking on to see this with an iPhone dimension, or we can try a Samsung Galaxy S8, we're still going to get these same kind of calls to action in the same location. So this has been changed now to log in, very similar obviously. The prior one was sign up or sign in. This is start building for free, request demo, the sentence, and the headline as well. So we can see here immediately that it's got the same important elements on there. So the logo, tiny in the top left hand corner, that's all it needs to be. Then if we scroll down, we start going down here, some lovely animations actually. I really do like that, but you know, the performance of a website is not usually made or broken in terms of the animation. These are just nice additions, so do not be trying to spend all your time trying to get the nicest animations going if you can't get the basics right. Let's get the basics right. Make sure that your website has a clear headline, a clear call to action in the top right hand corner, a clear call to action or two right in the center of the screen or nearby. If we scroll down, now there's going to be stats, data, numbers. Numbers work. If you can have stats, data, information, the number of users that you have, the number of satisfied customers, if you're an established business, they work all the time. If you can have things like this on there, it develops a level of trust. It proves that what you're doing works, and it also helps people minimize their perceived risk as well, because humans are very inclined to follow the pack and never usually want to be the first to do something. So if we see that 3 million, I think that says 3 million plus developers and businesses ship faster on Netlify, well, you know, that's saying 3 million users can't be wrong. So make your work flow, some useful information, it's written out nicely, it's laid out nicely. I would be saying for most businesses, because we're not at the stage of Netlify, and if you do have 3 million users and you're using MADM Academy, I'm really happy, but I would assume that our numbers are far below that. You know, we're going to need to have more information for, you know, the services or the products or the skills that we have. Certainly more information in terms of the skills that we have, our experience, what we want to do, and, you know, the reason why we're the right choice for the website visitor. If we scroll down more, another clear, bold headline here. It's all ready already. Very nice. Skip the painful setup in DevOps. Netlify is a global production-ready environment from the start. Skip all the server setup and get straight to building, deploy now. So this is written very well, and the copywriter that would have written this is obviously skilled. It could well have been a team that's assembled this particular piece of copy. The likelihood would have been it's gone through a team process to get to that stage. But for us as individuals, we don't want to be cute and clever. You know, we don't want to try and get it to sound cute and, you know, be rhyming or anything like that if we're not getting the message across clearly. We need to be getting the message of what it is we're doing across clearly. So if you're an individual, for instance, wanting to work as a graphic designer, you don't need to be as clever as it's already. You know, you can write something here that says, you know, Adobe Illustrator specialist in Liverpool. Then somebody scrolling down is going to see immediately, well, I'm actually in the market for needing to hire somebody like this. And then this could be something about your experience, a little paragraph around the sort of work that you enjoy creating, for instance. So we're starting to see now that as we scroll down the page, it's talking a lot about the outcome. Launch something amazing. Like if you use Netlify, you can launch something amazing, again, with a little explainer paragraph beneath it as well. Some links here, and if we go down, you're probably going to see more of the same. There's going to be some social proof here in terms of testimonials, reviews, that kind of thing. If you can get them onto your site, that will make a huge difference. It really will, in terms of the, you know, number of people who will then trust you and choose to order from you or call you or contact you or sign up or whatever it is that your website is there to do. Another example here of a review, the more the merrier, but for a lot of us, you know, certainly when we get started out, we don't have many, so maybe just keep it in mind that when you will get a review, that you will post it on the website, obviously with permission. If we scroll down as well, we're going to see a little bit more of the same really with this site. So really the most important takeaway here is this clear headline, the sign up, call to action, or whatever your call to action will be, a call to action here and perhaps a secondary one as well. All laid out, if we notice, for this one, right in the center of the screen. It's lovely. A very, very small logo in the top left hand corner of the screen, and then the menu as well, easy navigation. So let's go back to Glance. So we've checked out Netlify. Let's take this one. This is the second one we're going to open. Let's say 2, 3 and 4. We're going to go over these ones much quicker. So Asana. If we go to Asana's website, if you've not used Asana, it's like a team collaboration management kind of system. Very good, very popular. Okay, so we've got here, if I just close that cookie pop-up, which is so annoying. And why have we got this here? Close that. Okay then, right. Admittedly, this is to the side, and this is something that we'll see more often than not. We either lay out our above the fold section in 2 columns, so we have this here. It's not really letting me highlight it, unfortunately. Okay, so on the left hand side here, if you can follow the mouse cursor almost, we have 1 column on the left and then we have 1 on the right as well. So they're the 2 most common layouts you'll see for above the fold. We'll have left column, right column here, or like we saw on the previous website, we'll have it in the center. They're the 2 most common ones. So again, we've got a headline here, very powerful. It's a question. If you can get a question into your headline, that's going to work as well. If you can do that, get people into the flow of a conversation, ask a question. Are silos making teamwork more painful? If you're using them and it's really making your workflow quite ugly and tedious and slowing you down, you want something quicker, a solution such as Asana, for instance, you're kind of in the market for it, and they're asking you the question, are silos making teamwork more painful? Okay, an example would be for, let's say, a graphic designer. Okay, you're in the market for potential employers who are looking to hire a graphic designer. So let's just say you're appealing to people that are quite in the need of a graphic designer quite often. Maybe it's an event promoter, so they need a new graphic designer quite often, or a team of graphic designers. You could have a question such as, is hiring graphic designers costing you more time than it should? Something like that. So is looking for a graphic designer costing you more time than it should? Then if that is somebody that can really speak to, you've hooked them, they're in. Yes, that is, they're answering the question internally. We've got another sentence here, haven't we? Asana helps you manage projects, focus on what's important, and organise work in one place for seamless collaboration. So the magic of 3 here, we see this quite a lot. Oh, that is 4. Projects, it is 3. 3 is right. Manage projects, I was right. So it helps you manage projects, 1, focus on what's important, 2, and organise work, 3, in one place. So yeah, it's 3 things. So Asana helps you manage projects, focus on what's important, and organise work in one place for seamless collaboration. Okay then, 3s work so well when you're writing web copy. It really does work nicely. Sometimes you'll see it just directly with 1. It'd be like, Asana helps you manage projects in one place for seamless collaboration, but also you can do the 3 as well. So that's a little tip to kind of bear in mind. Again, here we've got this clear call to action. They're not messing around. They're saying get started. They're not saying if you would like to, then maybe consider signing up. It's get started. Top right hand corner again, the same as that previous website. We've got, so Netlify was exactly the same, although they had 2 calls to action here, but still loud and clear right here and top right as well. They've actually got their secondary one here right next to it. Again, the logo, tiny, left-hand corner. A logo should not take up more than this small section in the top left-hand corner. It really shouldn't. It's there for brand recognition, so people recognise that this is the brand that they're doing business with. It's a stamp of, what this company represents. It's not going to sell anything by itself. An Asana logo here, taking up the full screen, it will achieve nothing other than turning people off. We scroll down. The same as if you remember when we looked at Netlify, there was a clear sentence which described what the outcome was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of launch an amazing project or something like that. I was talking about launching an amazing project. This is saying manage complex work easily. Amazing. Manage complex work easily. you're probably not going to be able to sum up what you do, the outcome that you deliver in 4 words as perfectly as this. There's a reason why copywriters are able to charge what they charge. Manage complex work easily. It's amazing. You don't really get much better than that. Connect what needs to get done, who's doing it, and by when. Okay, we're starting to know what Asana can do. Again, lovely animations, but don't lose time figuring out how to do crazy animations if you're not getting the basics right. It's these things that are going to make the difference. Prioritize revenue driving work. So, saying, look, if you're wanting to make more money, you need to start prioritizing it, and Asana's going to help you do that. If we go down, I'm sure that there's going to be, and there isn't, I'm surprised by this unless we've missed it. No, I was actually expecting that we would see some reviews again like we did on the previous one. That is something that we see on almost all sites. We do have try the number one software in project and product management, so it's kind of saying we are number one, so perhaps they're kind of taking that stance instead, which is okay. But I still personally, and again this goes back to most small businesses or independent businesses or SMEs, small medium enterprises, individuals with portfolios, if you can get reviews on there. This is a huge multi-billion dollar company, so they can do certain things slightly different. But let's go back, see what else we've clicked on. Dropbox. So Dropbox is like Google Drive. Essentially, it's a memory card that lives in the cloud. I might actually message them. I quite like that. A memory card that lives in the cloud. That would have worked, I guess. Join over 700 million registered users who trust Dropbox. Okay, this is file sharing, file storage. They understand that security is key. Security is crucial for customers. They want to know that their information, their data is secure. Excuse me. So there is no coincidence here that there is 2, if not 3, 4 instances of really in one sentence getting and conveying trust as much as possible. So the first one is obvious. So the sentence here is really trying to get the message across that you can trust us, that it's secure. Okay, so we've got the word trust, that's one. Join is another one. So join, you're inviting somebody into a group. It's more than one, isn't it? It's join, be a part of, be in with us. So that's 2. We've got trust, join, over 700 million, and we've got registered as well. It's not just saying website hits or somebody that stumbled across the site. This is join. So this is saying we're already established. We're a group. You can only join something if there's then going to be more than one of you. So it's already established in there. So you're joining 700 million registered. So it's saying that they're committed. They've put their email address in. Users who trust Dropbox. So all of this they're saying in 7 or 8 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. They're saying a lot in 9 words. They've said something essentially 4 times in 9 words. It's incredible to be able to do this. Again, yours doesn't have to say that. You could just say, an enthusiastic and experienced graphic designer based in Liverpool. That says exactly what you do, but it's up to you, isn't it? Then you might want to explain a little bit more about what you do, just here within that sentence. Again, easy to use, reliable, private and secure, etc., etc. And you're probably noticing now the little logo in the top left-hand corner, the navigation, simple. And also these calls to action. And again, we're back to this center aligned content as well, aren't we? So just like Netlify, it's all centered. Start for free, get started. 2 clear calls to action. We don't need to go back over it. I'm going to have a quick scroll down. Another outcome here. So for people that want to be adding e-signatures to workflows, this is a big thing now, adding signatures electronically to your documents. Add e-signature to your workflows, that's an outcome. Send a link and open doors. We're talking about what is the outcome of dealing with a company like this. Okay, you're going to end up with 2 gig of cloud storage, brilliant. It has room for all your content with space to spare. Okay, cool. Dropbox family, brilliant. So there's things that I can add my friends and family to. Make life easy for you, brilliant. Okay. That's what I'm about. Making life easier for you and my clients. Oh, my clients are going to love me if I can make their life easier. It's going to streamline document workflow, all this stuff, all the outcomes. What are the benefits of giving your email address to Dropbox? How will you use Dropbox? Another question, and we're going to use it for work or personal use. And there's little tricks here that copywriters use. They know that when they ask a question, your brain wants to answer it, and we're going to go straight in here with either for work or personal use. We see ourselves lounging with a little cat, etc., etc. And we're back here, aren't we, to being trusted by over 700 million registered users and over 600,000 teams. And again here, a nice sort of review testimonial. What I do like about this is they've turned this into a story. Now this is amazing and not something we want to get too sidetracked on today. But if you can use your customers' stories within your website, within your online marketing, you're going to take it really to the next level. This is what they've done here. They've turned a review into a full story if you to click on that. So the final one that we're going to click on, which was this Miro. So this is like I've not used it too much. I've used it before, like whiteboards and things like that. So think of it as being like a virtual whiteboard essentially, where you can drag and drop little, what would you say, like text boxes and little graphics and create charts and things like that. So you guessed it, the headline here again, take ideas from better to best. Okay, I'm not that keen on it, if I'm honest, but it obviously works. They've done the tests and it does work, but the sentence is there, the same structure. Another sentence here, the clear call to action, some reviews straight here. I do like that. Miro, again, small logo, top left hand corner. Navigation links, keep it simple, and sign up for free. And we're back again, aren't we, to this website layout that is split in two. So if we go down here again, work together wherever you go, very outcome driven. Connect your tools, close your tabs, tidy up, connect your tools together, do it in one place. I do like this graphic. And if we go down here as well, we're going to see more outcome-based content as well in terms of the description. It's built for the way that you work. It's not talking about them. It's not talking about the amount of hours they've spent coding or coming up with the concept for their product or why their product is special. It's talking about you, built for the way that you work, built for all kinds of teams. This is saying that why companies large and small trust us. It's talking about the world's best teams. It's saying how good everyone else is, and by saying how good everyone else is and how good you are, you're going to think, well, other people that are good are using tools like this. That's who I want to associate myself with, and people like us use tools like this. So hopefully this has been a really insightful look at what can make a website amazing. If your website is not laid out like this, it's not really crafted like this, and you want it to start performing better, then hopefully you can start using some of these techniques, some of these elements, incorporating them into your own website. And if there's anything that you're struggling on or you want to bounce some ideas around, make sure that you join our live sessions at 12 noon every day on Zoom. And if you're a member of MADM Academy, you can get the Zoom login by clicking on the live workshops button on the website as well.